So I want you guys to do this warm-up. Rosie picked 45 flowers in 5 minutes. Write this rate as a unit rate. Write this rate as a unit rate. As a reminder, what does unit rate mean, Elsie? 1. So it's going to have a 1. Do we think we're going to have 1 flower or 1 minute? 1 minute. And we also know unit rate means 1 because it's got that phrase uni in it. Like in unique, like in unicycle, like in unicellular. So here are the initial factors. 1 and 5 of 5 and 1 and 45 of 5. So what's the next one? We can't do 2. So what's the next one, Tyson? 3 and 15. We always want to go in an order. It really helps us make sure we get them all. What's the next one? Can we do 4? No. So what's the next one? Madison.
5 and 9.
Perfect. Can we go any more? Are there any more? No, because we check. We can't do 6. We can't do 7. We can't do 8. So that means we've gotten all of them because that's all the numbers between 5 and 9. Excellent. So when we're doing this, Rosie picked 45 flowers in 5 minutes. So our ratio is 45 to 5. But what number are we going to divide both of them by? What is our GCF? What is our GCF, Oswaldo?
5.
Yes, our GCF is 5. So we divide them both by 5. What's 5 divided by 5? What's 45 divided by 5?
9.
So we get our ratio. Our answer is 9 to 1. Okay, the next thing that we're going to look at. The African Unladen swallow travels at an airspeed velocity of 18 miles in 30 minutes. How far does it go in 1 minute? How far does it go in 1 minute? So this one might be a little bit different. This one might be a little different. I want you guys to try this one the best that you can. If you're having a hard time understanding the question, it means bird goes fast. 18 miles in 30 minutes. How far does it go in 1 minute? So, how far does fast bird go? Let's see. What's our initial ratio? Our initial ratio is we've got miles, not our student, to minutes. So we got miles to minutes. That should give you help. How many miles does it go? 18. How many minutes does it take? 30. And now, we want to get it down to 1 minute. We want to get it down to 1 minute. So, that should give you a hint. Okay, Romario, what did you get? Shh. Never mind, that's okay. What do we think it is? Do we have any other brave souls? Let's see, Elsie, what do you think it is? It's not 6 to 1. What do we think it is? What do we think it is? It is 3/5. Let's walk through this together. Let's walk through this answer together. How do we go from 30 to 1? How do we do that? And we're not doing subtraction and addition. How do we do that, Elsie? Divide by 3? What do we do, Rafi? Divide by 30. Exactly. So we have to do the same thing to this other side. We have to divide it by 30. There's 2 ways that we can divide. We can either long divide, like this, or we can simply write it as a fraction, because this sign means divide. That sign means divide. I want you guys to take the time to do it, either fraction way or long division way. So, let's look at it as long division. Can we put 30 into 18? No. So we have to add our decimal. Boop, 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 boop. It goes right up there. We already know how to divide with decimals. We add our 0. Hey, how many times does 30 go into 180? How many times does 30?
6.
What is it, Trey? 6. So what do we get as our answer? What is our answer then? Gore. 0.6. What about this one? 18 over 30. Let's simplify that. What can we divide them both by? What can we divide both 18 and 30 by, Tyson? We can divide it by 3. Is there a better number we can divide it by, Fernando? 6. So we divide them both by 6. What's 18 divided by 6? Let me see your fingers. Let me see your fingers. 3. What's 30 divided by 6? Let's see your fingers. 5. I don't know if you guys know your conversions yet, but let's see. Do you think 0.6 is the same as 3/5?
No.
No? Let's look. 0.6. This is 0.6 over 1. This is 0.6 over 1. What we can do is we can move our decimal place over. That gives us 6 over 10. Let's simplify 6 over 10. Can we simplify 6 over 10? What can we divide them by, Madison? 2. What's 6 divided by 2? Let me see your fingers. Let me see your fingers. 3. What's 10 divided by 2? Let me see your fingers. 5. Hey, that's the same thing. Those are the same. We can do it that way. Anyway, I want you to see this one. This question. An adult's heart beats about 2,100 times every 30 minutes. A baby's heart beats about 2,600 times every 20 minutes. How many more beats does a baby's heart beat in 60 minutes than an adult's heart? So, what are the key words we see in this question? I already highlighted them, so it should be easy. Hannah. More and than. When we see those words, what are we going to be doing with our problem? What are we going to be doing, Rafi? Subtraction. Than means subtraction. More is telling us that we're trying to find a difference between the amount. Both of those words mean subtraction. Difference means subtraction. Than means subtraction. So I left a hint for you. Step 1 is find the unit rates. What's the initial rate for the adult? What's the initial rate for the adult? And what's the initial rate for the baby? Miles, what's the initial rate for an adult?
2,100 every 30 minutes.
And what's the initial rate for a baby? What's the initial rate for a baby? I want to see more hands in this class. What's the initial rate for a baby? More hands doesn't mean the same person put up 2 hands, but I love it. Fernando. Every 20. Excellent. So if you read the question, that's what we get. I want you guys to find the unit rate. That means we want to get it down to 1 minute. How many does it be in 1 minute? So this is our rate. We just saw it on the other page. We want to get it down to 1 minute. Which side is the minutes? Which side is the minutes? On the left or on the right, Madison?
On the right.
On the right. So we want to get it down to 1 minute each. Andrew, how do we divide to get from 30 to 1? What do we divide it by? What? By itself. So we divide this side by 30. So what would we divide this side by, Andrew? By itself, by 20. Exactly. So, are we done? Do I just get it equal to 2,100 equals 1?
No.
Why not? Because why, Madison?
Because you have to divide for the adult, you have to divide 30 by 2,000.
We have to do the same to both sides. We have to do the same for both sides. Let's look at that. So we get 2,100 divided by 30. Let's see fingers. Can 30 go into 2? Yes. 0. Can 30 go into 21?
Yes.
0. How many times does 30 go into 210? Let's see your fingers up. 7. If you want a trick for this, how many times does 3 go into 21? 7 times. We just add a 0 to each of them and it stays the same. Excellent. What is 30 times 7? What is 30 times 7? Shh. What is 30, Raphael? Not 30 times 7. 210. Hey, we get our 0. Awesome, I'm done, right? The rate is 7. No. Why, Mia? We still have the 0. Okay, so now I'm done. I brought it down and I know it's done, right? Madison?
You have to see how many times 30 goes into 0.
So how many times does 30 go into 0? How many times does 30 go into 0, Andrew? What? It would be what? I can't hear you. How many times does 30 go into 0? Can 30 go into 0? No, so it becomes 0 times. So our new rate is 70 to 1. What about for a baby? What about for a baby? We got 2,600 divided by 20. So, how many times does 20 go into 2?
0.
It doesn't. How many times does 20 go into 26? Number of fingers. 1. That's 20. We subtract. What is 26 minus my ugly 20? What is my 26 minus my ugly 20, Andrew? 6. Awesome. I bring down my 0. How many times does 20 go into 60? Number of fingers, number of fingers. Number of fingers. 3. And that is exactly 60. I get my 0. I'm done 13 times. What, Madison?
You have to see how many times.
Oh, we have to bring down the other 0. How many times does 20 go into 0, Andrew? It can't. So our baby's heart rate is 130 to 70. Excellent. Let's look at our problem. So we simplify it. Our adult is 70 to 1, and our baby is 130. So our next step is we have to find out how many more beats does a baby's heart beat in 30 minutes. How many more times, or in 60 minutes? How many more times does a baby's heart beat in 1 minute? How many more times does a baby's heart beat in 1 minute? What do we do? How do we do that? Tyson. Exactly. So it's going to be 130. How many times a baby's heart beats? Minus 70. How many times an adult heart beats? What's our answer there? Raising our hands. Oh my God. Tobias. 60. Great. So our answer is it beats 60 times more, right? No. Why not? Why not? Hannah.
Because we still have to find out how many more beats it beats in 60.
Because we have to find out how many more times it beats in 60. How many times is this? 60 beats in how many minutes? 60 beats in how many minutes? This is 60 beats in how many minutes, Madison?
1 minute.
In 1 minute. We have to make it into something into 60 minutes. How do I get from 1 to 60? How do I multiply to get from 1 to 60? Miles. By 60. Excellent. It's hard to see, but by 60. So we're going to do the same to the other side. Let's look at that. What is 60 times 60? I want you guys to do it on your paper. What is it, Jaden?
1,200.
Not 1,200. That's a good guess. Lily. 3,600. So the way that we do it, 0 times 0. 0. 0 times 6. 0. We add our magic 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 6 is 36. So our answer is 3,600. So if we are paying attention, we use the unit rate to find out the number of beats in 60 minutes. They did it a little bit differently. I like the way that we did it more. And then they did the subtraction at the end. But don't you guys like that we did the subtraction beforehand? Kind of makes it easier. But we find out that a baby's heart beats 3,600 more times in 60 minutes than an adult's heart. So I want you to open your books to page 33 and do C, and then pick 3 on page 34. Let's look at C. Now, what is the initial rate? What is the initial rate for C? Who can tell me the initial rate for C? Nobody can? What is it, Trey?
7,500.
So it's 7,500. Is that it? 7,500 what, Elsie? To 30. And what do we want to get it to? What does that question say? What do we want to get it to, Ben?
1 hour.
We want to get it to an hour. How many minutes is in an hour? 60. How do we get from 30 to 60, Andrew? Times 2. So we do the same to the other side. I know you guys have done this on your papers, hopefully. So raise your hand. What is 7,500 times 2, Tyson? 15,000. Don't worry, I know what he was saying. 15,000. And we have to go back to that previous problem. It says, how many more beats does a hummingbird's heart beat than a baby's heart? So we've got 15,000, and we have that than, which means we're going to be doing subtraction. And what was our baby's heart in an hour? What was our baby's heart, Elsie?
3,600.
3,600. What's 15,000 minus 3,600? We could line it up, but I'm just going to have us do it. What is it, Romario? You're so close. It's not 12,400. What is it, Lily?
12,000.
No. What is it? Malia? 11,400. So if we did that, make sure you line it up and check it. We were close there. So that's our answer. Now, I want you to keep doing. Who has picked number 1? I'm going to pick teachers to teach the class these problems. You're right. We were given incorrect answers here, although that was partly my fault. So let's go back and look. How many times does a baby's heart beat in an hour? How many times does a baby's heart beat in an hour? We didn't find out. Let's look at that. How many times does a baby's heart beat in an hour? A baby's heart beats 7,800 times in an hour. So we have to subtract 7,800. So when we do that, we get, what is 0 minus 0? Number of fingers. 0. 0 minus 0. 0 minus 8. Number of fingers. Can we do that? No. What do we have to do when we can't do that subtraction? What do we do, Miles?
You have to carry.
Kind of. It's regrouping. So what does this 5 become when we regroup? What does the 5 become, Rafi? No. Trey. Rafi.
7.
No. Ben. 4. And this becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 4 minus 7. Can we do that? No, but we're just going to look at it as this 14. What's 14 minus 7?
7.
So our answer is 7,200. Great job. So, write each rate as a unit rate. This question says 44 points in 4 quarters. So on one side, we're going to have the points, and on the other side, we're going to have the quarters. How many points did he get, Andrew? 44. And how many quarters was that in? 4. We want to get it down to a unit rate. So we want to get it down to 1 quarter. Where do I put that 1, Andrew?
Under the 4.
Under the 4. How do I get from 4 to 1 with division? Divide it by? When we want to get it to a whole, what do we divide by?
Itself.
Itself. So we divide it by 4. So I'm going to do what to the other side? Divide it by?
Itself.
By 4, because we're doing the same to both sides. Andrew, what's 44 divided into 4 groups? So how many times is 44 divided by 4? 11. So how many points does he get each quarter? 11 points. Great job, Andrew. Our next teacher is Romario. So, our question says it goes 125 feet in 5 seconds. I want you to teach it. Go ahead.
Alright.
Tell me what you're doing nice and loud.
Alright, so first of all, I'm putting the number of feet to 125 on the feet.
Excellent. He puts the feet under feet.
And then on the seconds, I put 5 because it says 5.
Excellent.
And
But
so,
we want to get it to a unit rate. So how do we do that, Romario?
and so you put a 1 right here. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Great job.
So you put a 1 right there. Make a line. And then you divide it by 5.
Great job. We're dividing it by itself.
And then
So what do we do to the other side?
you divide it by 5.
Exactly, same thing on the other side.
And then you
What's
get
125 divided by 5, Romario?
25.
Perfect. So, how many feet does it go per second?
25 feet.
25 feet. Great job, Romario. Madison, come up and you're going to do number 3. Excellent. Here you go, Madison. I want you to teach it nice and loud.
Okay. So we have 360 miles and 12 gallons of gas. So now what we have to do is we have to make it a unit rate. So we have to divide this right here to get 1 divided by 12. And we have to do the same to this side.
Excellent.
Divided by 12. And then
What's 36 divided by 12? Let's see. Or 360?
okay, so we go 3, 36, that's 0, 0, then that goes in 0 times, that's 30.
Excellent work, Madison. Great job. Ben, come up and teach. There you go, Ben. Start.
Okay, so you have 12 meters in 28 seconds.
So it goes 12 meters in 28 seconds.
Wait,
We
hold
want to
on.
find how far it goes in 1 second.
So you have to make this 1 second thing, and you have to divide it by 28. And then you have to what is that thing?
Same to the other side.
Oh, so you have to do the same to the other side. Then you have to divide 12,
Do we divide it by? Yep. Great job.
28. Then you have to add a 0 here.
But we don't just add a 0. What do
You
we add?
A decimal.
Excellent. So we put it up at that top.
And then 28 goes into 125 times.
I think it's 4 times.
Wait. Oh yeah, 4 times with 112. Then when you subtract them, it equals...
We're gonna get like way too different of an answer. We're gonna skip this one. This is not gonna be a good one. Don't worry. Shh. So it's not. We added a decimal. This one's really complicated. We're gonna skip it. Tyson, come up and do number 5. So Tyson, do number 5.
Should I read the problem?
Read the problem.
Okay, for Molly shot 20 baskets in 4 minutes, and Nico shot 42 baskets in 6 minutes. How many more baskets did Nico shoot per minute? So I have to divide.
So what's the initial rate for both of them?
The initial rate is for Molly, it is 20 to 4, and for Nico, it is 42 to 6.
Perfect. What's their unit rate?
In their unit rates, you would divide it by itself, and 6 divided by itself is 42 to 1, and you have to also divide the 42 by 6.
Perfect. So we have to divide the 42 by 6 as well. So what do we get?
So you would get 7 because 6 times 7 is 42.
What about for Molly?
And for Molly, you would get 5 because 5 times 4 is also 20.
Excellent.
And since it says more, you have to subtract 5 from 7, and 5 from 7 is 2, and Nico shot 2 baskets per minute.
Perfect. He shot 2 more baskets per minute. Great job, you guys. Excellent work. For your homework, homework is page 35 and 36. 35 and 36.